This week in Pokemon GO is actually looking to be pretty exciting because we're going to be seeing the debut of a brand new Pokemon as well as the debut of a shiny that a lot of people have been waiting for. And we're also going to be seeing some phenomenal raiding content because Lunala is going to be making its raid debut. I'm going to be talking about all of this along with other things you need to pay attention to during this week in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening y'all? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So this week is going to be packed with a lot of really good stuff, and I really do think that overall, there's a lot to look forward to. We're going to be getting the second Ultra Unlock event, which is going to be the Steels and Scales event, and this is going to be a Steel type and Dragon type themed event. And of course, some of the most powerful Pokemon in Pokemon GO are both of these types. Now, there's going to be specifically a couple of things regarding this event that I know is going to raise some eyebrows, but I don't necessarily feel like it's a bad event. I do think there's a lot of really good content within it, but I do think that overall, it's going to be kind of divisive. It's basically because the new Pokemon, Honedge, is a Pokemon that you could only get from raid battles, so it is essentially locked behind premium content. And then the new shiny Pokemon, Shiny Rookidee, was something that a lot of players were expecting for a future community day, which we voted for. So yeah, I think there's going to be certain aspects of this event that players might be disappointed about, but I think overall it's going to be pretty good. Specifically, some of the stuff that they are including with this event is stuff you should not miss out on. So yeah, let's go over the details for this event, and then afterwards let me talk about the other things that are going to be happening during this week. The Ultra Unlock Steel and Scales event is going to be starting on July 22nd at 10 o'clock AM local time, and it's going to go until July 27th at 8 o'clock PM local time. The featured Pokemon is going to be Honedge, Doublade, as well as Aegislash, and they're going to be making their Pokemon GO debut. Now, if you want to get yourself an Aegislash, basically you need to evolve a Honedge into Doublade with 25 Honedge candy, and then you need 100 Honedge candy to evolve Doublade into Aegislash. It's a very typical evolutionary process for a two-stage Pokemon. I do think this is going to be one of those Pokemon that a lot of people will be wanting. Now, during this event, we're going to see the following event bonuses, and let me be straight up with you, these are not as exciting as the first Ultra Unlock event. You're going to be able to get 4 times the amount of experience when you catch Pokemon, double the amount of candy when you catch Pokemon, you're going to have an increased chance to encounter Shiny Bagon and Shiny Beldum, and then you're also going to have an increased chance to encounter Shiny Unknown U in raids. Now, these are going to be the wild encounters during this event. Magnemite, Dratini, Aron, Bagon, Beldum, Ferroseed, Noibat, and Rookidee are going to be spawning in the wild, and then Axew and Goomy are going to be uncommon spawns. So there's going to be a lot of pseudo-legendaries within this event, which I know is going to be exciting to some players, but the real highlight here is that Rookidee's shiny form is going to be making its Pokemon GO debut. Now, also spawning in 1-star raids during this event, we're going to get Unknown U, Gible, Clink, Dino, and Honedge, and then once again, there's just more pseudo-legendaries and 2-stage evolution Pokemon, and then of course Unknown U. And then Unknown U, like I mentioned earlier, is going to have an increased shiny chance. And then also in 3-star raids, we're going to have Skarmory, B-Sharp, Dragolge, as well as Turtonator. There's also going to be event-themed field research tasks, as well as event-themed collection challenges. So yeah, this Steels and Scales event is basically going to be the major thing for this week. But we are also going to be getting a max battle weekend, that's right, a whole weekend rather than just a particular day. And it's going to be featuring 2 legendary Dynamax Pokemon, and of course talking about Latios and Latias. You're going to be able to get the Dynamax versions of both of these Pokemon during this coming weekend, and that's because they're going to be making their Pokemon GO debut through a max battle weekend. So do not miss out on that. Alright, so let's talk about all the other things that are going to be happening during this week, specifically the weekly content. Let's first talk about tonight's Max Monday, which is actually going to be featuring a very good Dynamax Pokemon, and it's going to be Darumaka. Starting from 6 o'clock PM to 7 o'clock PM local time, you're going to see a whole bunch of max battles featuring this one Pokemon. Now, tomorrow's Spotlight Hour is also going to be somewhat decent. It's going to be featuring Jigglypuff, and it's going to be from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time with a 2x transfer candy bonus. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you have a stockpile of legendary Pokemon that you want to transfer, this will be a great time for you to do it because you're going to get double the amount of candy. Next up, let's talk about the raiding content. So, this week, we're going to be getting Lunala in raid battles. That's right, Lunala is going to be making its debut in raids, and it's going to be starting on July 22nd until the end of the week. That means this Wednesday's raid hour is also going to be featuring this Pokemon. You do not want to miss out on Lunala. It's a very powerful Pokemon in its own right, but you do need this Pokemon for a really powerful Pokemon, and I'm of course talking about Dawn Wings Necrozma. It's one of the Pokemon that you need for the fusions, so I really do suggest you stock up on as many Lunala as possible, because even if you do not get the 100% IVs, you will still want to have a few saved up so that you could fuse them with Necrozma to get Dawn Wings Necrozma. Now, in terms of the other raiding content, we of course have Mega Venusaur in Mega Evolution raids during this week, and then on the weekends we're gonna have Shadow Registeel in 5-star Shadow Legendary raids. And then finally, let's close this off by talking about what's going to be active within the Go Battle League. So until this Tuesday, July 22nd, we're gonna continue to have the Open Master League along with the Sunshine Cup Great League Edition, and then afterwards we're going to have all 3 of the basic leagues. The Great League, Ultra League, and Master League are all going to be open. This is basically the mid-season point, so you will definitely want to grind up some points because you will not have a lot of time to get to the ranks that you want to get to because this season is going to come to an end pretty soon. So definitely get on that grind. These are some really great leagues for you to get some points. Alright, so there you have it. This is everything that's going to be going on during this week in Pokemon Go, and like I said, there's actually a lot to look forward to. I think the Steals and Scales event is basically going to be the big highlight, but there's also really good raiding content. We, of course, know that Lunala is going to be in raid battles for the very first time during this week. And then, of course, there is that max weekend for both Dynamax Latios and Latias, which I'm pretty sure are going to be extremely useful for future Dynamax and Gigantamax content, especially because we already got the teaser that Eternatus is going to be for the Go Fest finale event in August. So yeah, try to stock up on as many really powerful Dynamax Pokemon as you can right now because I'm pretty sure that encounter is going to be quite difficult. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything going on during this week down below. Is there a particular thing that you are specifically looking forward to? Or do you feel like this week is not necessarily that good? Definitely share your thoughts and reasons for thinking that, and yeah, let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, like the names you're going to see on the bottom of your screen, you're going to be able to get a spot on my Pokemon Go friends list. Yeah, I always add my paid Patreon members, so if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, that means you will need to go and check out my Patreon, and you'll be able to receive gifts, raid invites, different things like that. Definitely go and check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. You'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. With all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.